What's your thoughts on government cover-ups or covert societies attempting to control humanity? Do you believe in ancient astronauts, intergalactic communication, or extraterrestrial visitations? Ever had an experience with disembodied spirits or the paranormal universe? Are these subjects fact or fiction? Each week, Tony and Eddie explore these unbelievable realities and beyond. Exclusively on Truth Be Told.
Hello and happy Halloween from Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie, where we believe an experience becomes truth. I'm your host, Tony Sweet, and joining me now in studio is the one and only Eddie Connor.
Thank you, Tony, and hi, everybody. Well, we have a special treat for listeners and viewers tonight. Our extraordinary guest is a talented psychic medium. She's live in the studio, and she's going to conduct a good old-fashioned seance in order to contact the other side.
Patti Negri is Hollywood's favorite celebrity psychic, and she also enjoys working her magic in the realm of film and television. In addition to her film work, she has recently conjured up a few dead celebrities on an episode of Private Chefs of Beverly Hills on the Food Network, and also just performed a house clearing for Shorty and his crew on the Animal Planet's TV show, Pit Boss, where she cleared out the negative energy at Shortywood.
Now we want to find out more about Shortywood. Now, Patti has conducted many seances on radio, television, film, and living rooms, as well as boardrooms across America. Based in Hollywood and largely traveling around the LA area, we're very fortunate that she stopped by UBN today so that we can conduct a seance.
And sessions with Patti are safe and enlightening. She cannot always guarantee a spiritual encounter. However, strange and magical things have been known to occur on more than one occasion.
Tonight, Patti Negri is opening the door between the spirit realm and the physical world while offering viewers a special look into beings from the other side. Welcome to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie, and welcome Hollywood's premier psychic medium, Patti Negri. Yay, welcome, Patti.
Welcome, Patti.
Thank you. Wow, love the applause. Thank you, studio audience.
They love you.
There's hundreds and hundreds in this tiny
It's the
4
spirits.
5.
Crowded.
Yeah.
Actually, there are a lot in here.
Yeah,
Tis the season.
doesn't it? And it feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah. You got some good ghosts.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah.
Well, this is a 102-year-old studio
Is it?
lot,
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
there's
then.
I'm sure there's a lot of
Yeah.
spirits here.
And we've been doing things live before, and beings will just pop their head in the door, or there'll be flashes of light around here. There's definitely activity.
Yeah, it would make sense. And plus, one thing that I've discovered in my years of doing this is big in life, big in death. You know, banker Bob, who worked in a cubicle his whole life, he can become a ghost, but he's just sitting in his cubicle. Somebody who is a studio head or a starlet, they're big. They're big
They
in
still
death,
want to be
big in
known.
life. They still want to be known.
And they shine their light over there like they shine their light over here.
It's wild that way, but it makes sense. If we're still our spirit and our soul is what goes on, it makes sense.
Now, let me ask you this. If a spirit, or not actually a human, was more of a negative biggest life, what about in spirit?
Same dang thing. I've had some grumpy spirits. I really have had some grumpy spirits, and not that it's not demons. Everybody goes right to demonic. It's like, no, they're just a grouch. You know, really, they were grouchy in life, and they're grouchy. Some get some enlightenment as they go over to the other side. And some don't. Most spirits are crossed over, so everybody worries, because you see them, does that mean they're like a shade or a shadow not crossed over? No, most have, and they're just able to flip between the worlds and visit. You can tell the difference of an uncrossed over spirit, like, you know, maybe they just weren't ready to die, or it was an accident or something like that, and you feel the edginess to them. And actually, that's pretty easy to cross over. If somebody like that came in, we could really go to the light. It's kind of like that, in a sense. And so it's interesting, but this place should have some really great spirits.
And I'm excited about that. But here's my thought, just to everyday person might ask, why don't these people or the spirits that go over say, okay, I'm over here, I'm going to my next body?
Okay, they do. But guess what? Space and time doesn't exist on the other side. In all my, half a century of experience, it doesn't exist. And we are essences of. I do believe in reincarnation. I know who I was. I found the house without knowing where it was. She writes like me. So, okay, I am the reincarnation of Barbara Lamar, the forgotten starlet who didn't want to be forgotten. Our lives have paralleled everything. Born, she died at 30. I was born 30 years later. My life changed. All this crazy stuff. So I believe in reincarnation. I am the spirit. And then I'm doing a seance, and there she is. Well, how the heck is that? That doesn't make what? The little thinking left brain stuff. But again, if time and space doesn't exist, and if we are all essences of, even in reincarnation, I don't think all of a sudden, Uncle Bob is now little, new cousin Bessie. Essences of, are you going to get part of it? So they can be everywhere at the same time if there is no time. They can go on to heaven or whatever you believe in. They can come into the next body. They can come visit their family and stand in the corner with grandma and watch those grandkids, because it's essence of. It's like that great consciousness stream, and it's hard for us because we have little tiny human brains
and little tiny hardly not powerful at all physical bodies.
Yeah.
So I always say the body's a grain of sand, and our consciousness is the whole universe, as it were.
So yeah, it's that we are that little grain of sand. So it doesn't have to make sense. That's where faith comes in.
Yeah, true.
I bet you love physics and metaphysics.
I do. I love going back and forth and the science versus this and how they all come together. I actually do study philosophy, cosmologies, religions, belief systems. And if you take I'll compare the atheist to the born again Pentecostal to the Buddhist, and if you take everything down to the essence of energy, it's all the same. Don't tell them. It's like, okay.
They'll be knocking on your door in the morning going, we need to do a clearing before Halloween gets here.
I know. And that's why it is Halloween. So the veil, for people who don't know, this is the veil between the worlds is the thinnest right now. That is why kids dress up like Halloween, because to scare off the spirits. That's why the kill candy thing came from a European thing of putting candy out to appease the spirits that they can see. In the pagan community, my community, it's Samhain. It's called Samhain, which is the time we honor the dead and we help cross over those who haven't crossed over, and it's honoring that time because the veil really is thin. That's why Halloween is Halloween.
And why is the veil so thin?
2 times a year. It's the new year. It's kind of the new year going into it. So it's that right around October 31st, and it's also right around May Day, which is Beltane in the pagan or the Earth calendar. Which that's a little lighter because that's going into spring. That's the fairies holding it up. But it's really magical. The whole maypole and spring fertility and all that. But that's the 2 times it's thinnest. But we're going into that darker time. Darker not meaning evil, but darker meaning that inner reflection into the mound time.
Wow, I can see that.
Why do you think it is that the Western, northeastern United States is so much more closed down than most of the other countries in the world when it comes to this, the paranormal, spirituality, the veil between worlds, the philosophy?
I think probably, again, it takes a while because they came in with a certain belief system, and sometimes it takes harder to break out, especially when somebody's told right or wrong, good or evil, and you've been put into a little bit of a box, maybe a little less education in some points, just a little way of being. The same thing, there's probably somewhere in the world somewhere that doesn't understand airplanes, have never seen one, and that comes over, they don't quite get it. But I believe because the veil is thinning, and we are literally going into that age of Aquarius they talked about in the 60s, saying about there is nothing solid behind us, it's getting liquid. So that's why a lot of belief systems aren't holding up for people, because it's like it's not black and white, right? And I know this, and I'm standing here, and there's nothing to stand on. So it's like, whoa. That's why, in some senses, the world is kind of blowing up all over, because that firmness, you've got to be able to surf through it.
And it's forcing, pleasantly, for some people, a new perspective. It's forcing you to see things differently. I do believe the world right now is in such a conundrum, especially North America, where people are trying things now they would have never tried before in order to attract money, in order to find peace of mind, in order to strengthen their faith. Speaking of faith, you're a white witch, and you brought lots of goodies, and we're would love to talk to you about what your goodies are as we tiptoe into a seance.
Okay. Well, I work elementally. By the difference in a white witch and a black witch. I really say a good witch because I don't like the whole color thing. But that just means a witch doesn't even mean your religion. In my belief system, you could be a Christian witch. You could be an atheist witch. Yeah. I believe in magic. I believe I am the architect of my life. We can shift energy. We can move things. We can create things. It's like a shaman. Same thing. I work elementally with Earth's magic, with air and fire and water and again, that's a really good way, and that's how I'm going to open the seance, because again, that won't conflict with anyone's belief system who doesn't like Mother Nature just for Mother's Nature. And again, if I see everything as kind of this big one, so I brought again some elemental things to use. I'm very old school. I'm going to burn some herbs and some incenses, things that will hope. I've got some frankincense, some myrrh, because holy to lift things up. I've got some damiana and some mugwort and all sorts of things that help lift the veil. I work again with sound because everything is vibration.
Yes. Oh, that's
and this
beautiful.
Is what I will even take often on like house clearings and stuff, because you could tell spirits with this. Because by the change, I've had them hear them stop, vibration, changes of tones. It's a really good way. I also brought my good old dowsing rods. Whoops, I'm knocking everything over. Because sometimes a spirit, they don't want to talk or in the physical, or they're not used to it. And if we're on a time limit, wait.
No, she's got caught.
Okay, I'm afraid. Plain old dowsing rods, which have been around forever. You know, that's how you find water in the desert.
We used to do that in Kansas with weeping willow trees.
You know, I cannot make them move no matter what I do unless I go like that. I move them. It's metal on metal. But for divination, it's a really nice tool to use for energy. And for divination, to talk to spirits or just yes, no, they cross on yes and they don't cross on no. We are recording at UBN Radio right now.
Oh.
Yes. We are on the beach in Saint-Tropez. Nope, can't cross no matter what I do. I'm sitting right across from Tony and next to Eddie over here.
Ooh.
Oh, that was a big one.
Okay, that was a big one. I'm sitting here with President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump. Heck no.
Surprised it didn't melt.
Okay. One thing, also what these are really good at pointing, we haven't even opened the veil yet, but why I keep looking behind you, Eddie, is that there's a spirit in the corner.
Oh.
Been here all day, kind of by the chair, kind of like leaning into the chair. So if, again, everything's energy, if everything is just energy, have the dowsing rods point at the spirit.
Oh. Wow.
So that's how these work. So I am mostly old school in what I do because it's a really easy way. But because I've done so much TV and Ghost Adventures kind of shows, and that's a little old school for some, I did bring a couple modern technology like EMF meters, not a lot, nothing fancy stuff. This is both of these. EMF meters. They test electromagnetic field because, again, going back to everything is energy. These will make it ring. Now, if I held this up to a light plug, it would go beep, 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 or an energy source. Right. But if it's just on the table, not next to a light plug, and it goes off, it's a way that you can get spirits to show that they come, or even sometimes some yes-no answers. Or, it's just another little tool. I also brought, I don't know if we're going to be able to reach it, but I brought a Ouija board. I know everybody's scary, and they always do scary, scary movies about them. I've literally had this one since I was a little kid. It's 30-something years old. But what I say about Ouija boards is they're like a gun. You got to know how to use them.
I know, because I think Shar and also Eddie has warned people of making sure you know how to use it.
Yeah, it's same with tarot cards.
Same with tarot cards. Again, they're a tool. Yes, it's a portal. It opens up. I don't think necessarily they should be sold at Toys R Us as a toy. They should be a warning. This is not a toy. You should be an adult to buy it. But if you're using it, it doesn't take big knowledge. It's intent. Yeah. So it's not. You're not going to sit there going, anybody out there, any spirits out there, come in. Really? Anybody? Are you going to open the front door of your house in the middle of the night? Go, anybody out there? Come on
or
in.
Go to a club tonight and go, anybody.
Come home. No, you're not. You're going to be very picky. Who's allowed in? Good spirits, light spirits, spirits connected to the people at the session that you're doing, and be very clear. No tricksters, because they can be. So that's the difference of that. So as we go into the seance, I'm going to get, like I said, open it elementally. So that's air and fire and water and earth working off the Persian stars. I'll keep it short and easy, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And one thing also, yes, because we certainly have another psychic here, but besides me being the psychic and medium, when we open the veil, I believe that everybody taps into it. So all of a sudden, if you keep hearing Fred, besides it's my little guy named Fred talking. Here, Fred.
Well, show Fred. We don't want him to get jealous.
This is a bone. In traditional witchcraft, everybody talks about witches and their familiars. Cats are really tough to have as familiars. Like, I could have brought my cat, but would have hated it, going into the car, parking in the parking lot. In traditional craft, you call your familiars into an inanimate object. And the reason you use a skull a lot is because it's really easy to relate. It's got eyes and nose and ears, but it could be a picture of a cat or a statue of Buddha or Christ or anything. But this is Fred. But back to why I started this. If you hear something, don't be afraid to say it, because you might be getting the message. The thing you might be hearing might be for him that I'm not even picking up. Again, we probably won't get dark enough to see a lot, maybe a little bit, but you're usually not going to see it with your direct vision. It's that peripheral vision. So you see an orb going by, a light going by, or a shadow going by in and out, or you feel a change in temperature that isn't the air conditioning coming on, or a heaviness or a lightness or a brush across you. The chills or goosebumps are always a confirmation. And the kind of spirits, and one of that we might experience, there's ghosts, of course, the spirits, dead humans, which usually have crossed over, and we could bring in Grandma or anybody from the studio, or those not crossed over. The second kind is a residual haunting, which we actually could get at a studio like this, that's an old movie studio. That's the kind you often also get at those, like the bed and breakfast where the lady in white walks by every night. Not that poor ghost really has to walk by 7 times every night. It's something so strong happened, good or bad, often bad, that literally ripped into a video that it happens over and over. That's residual, which we could get something like that here, but I doubt this is such an active little place. And the other third thing we could experience is the everything else category. That's the everything else. And that's things that were never human. That we're getting into your angelic realm, your fairy realm, your extraterrestrial ET realm, animal realm, spirit guide realm. And there's a whole lot of the everything else realm. And again, because we do, yes.
And that could be a tree.
That could be a
tree.
The
consciousness of a tree.
The consciousness of a tree.
That's happening more and more in readings lately.
Yes, it is. Because again, that elemental, we are needing that. Because I work, elemental is balance. If people could bring that in, that's how I work with people all the time. It's like, we're so crazy. There's nothing solid. It's like, really, go hug a tree.
Yeah.
Because they're the ancestry anyway. Every belief system, the tree of life, the Kabbalistic, everything. They're wise. You want some wisdom, go sit down under a tree with your backbone against the trunk. Meditate for even a minute or two.
Yeah.
Really? Does it matter what tree? What kind of tree?
Yes, not that tree. No, it doesn't matter. Trees do have different spirits. I mean, because like if you're working with magic wands or creating a rowan tree versus an oak wood, but no, a tree is a spirit of the tree. Same thing working with crystals and rocks and, all that. They are real living spirits. They have the real, anything that's living, plant, mineral, is a living thing and something we could actually hold on to.
And just for fun, weeping willows are the most psychic trees on this planet.
Really? That makes sense. I didn't know that.
But that's what we used to use back in Kansas with from the rods was weeping willow branches.
See?
That's how my uncles and great uncles used to find water.
Isn't it awesome? And that's just worked into that's what it is. And it doesn't have to be magic or one of those crazy woo-woo people or anything. It's just fact. And that's sadly gotten so lost.
Right.
I know. And if you're just tuning in, everybody, you're listening to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
I'm Tony Sweet.
And we're here with Patti Negri. She's a psychic medium. And we're getting ready to go into a seance.
Yeah.
So you prep us.
Okay.
June, will you go ahead and just shut these lights off real quick? And June is over to the side. He may participate with us. So if you need him for anything, let us know.
Okay. Well, he's part of it, so he's just part of it. So one thing I'm going to do as I'm setting this up, I've got this little bit of oil here. You don't have to use it, but this is a enhancer oil that I actually made 2 full moons ago. You could put a little bit on the palms of your hands. Those are portal. Give them a whiff. But the place really for like seances and things, the back of your neck if you ever want protection oil, right where your head and your neck come together, that little hole there, that actually is a spirit portal.
Oh, really?
Think about it. When you go to pray, you bow your head, you open it up for God, for spirit. So that's where you use your, soles or feet, soles of your hand. But if anybody wants to use this to help your sight and protection, just pass it around.
Thank you so much. And meanwhile, everybody's walking around with their head bowed on their phones. Stop it.
Exactly. You're open up for spirit.
Yeah.
And that adds to the less consciousness in the real world, the truck that's going to hit you, and more consciousness on the other side.
Or the Prius, because, they're such good drivers.
Oh, that smells good.
Thanks. All right, that's starting to charcoal.
Oh, yeah, I can feel a little. Yeah, I can smell that.
Yeah.
That smells good.
Thank you.
I don't need deodorant now.
That's right.
Actually, we'll talk about
No,
that
the deodorant is my
Okay.
my EMF meter. Okay, and any questions along the way, feel free to ask. Everybody, just take a deep
I'm
breath.
gonna get my feet flat on the floor. Relax.
Yeah, uncrossed legs, which is always the hardest part when you're doing this. Hard. And again, as we go, the veil is thin. So everybody, take a deep breath again. You guys at home too. Did you want to dim the lights a little tiny bit?
Yeah. Let me do this. Eddie,
Got it?
reach that one.
Ooh, it's so dark we can hardly see.
Oh, my God. But we like it.
No, we like it. Okay. Here we go. And again, you could talk at any time as I open the veil.
Now, when people start, when you start a seance, does it from prayer to meditation? What should people be wanting or asking for?
Well, again, when you're starting something like this, know your belief system. Number one, there's not a right or wrong. Like if we wanted to drive to the next city over from here, there's a million ways to do it. So somebody works angelic, work angelic. Somebody works with traditional, go traditional. I'm working elemental, again, because it's really powerful and it doesn't conflict with anything.
Right.
But know who you want to call when you get scared and set your boundaries of what you're doing. And that's what I'm going to do right here. Again, not a right or wrong way, but just do it.
Right.
Your own way. So here we go. Light and dark are turning, luck be in the burning. Light and dark are turning, luck be in the burning. Black spirits and white, red spirits and gray, mingle, mingle, mingle who may. Tout a tout tout, within and without. A world within and a world without. A world within and a world without. The good stay in and the ill stay out. Everybody take a deep breath. Okay, I do want to call in your divinity, your guides, your angels, everything that work with. And within that, I want to call in the beautiful guardians of the Watchtowers of the East, the sweet east wind blowing through. Wind, that stands for our thinking brain. Thought process. May the winds blow through, blow away any fear and doubt or any negativity, and blow in light and possibility and connection to spirit. That feels very airy. Now I want to call in the guardians of the Watchtowers of the South. Fire, passion, creativity, love, sex, God, art itself. That passion, the blood running through our veins. May that beautiful spirit of fire of the South burn away, again, anything dark or negative or any fears, and open up and mold it into a beautiful communication spirit with the other side. You feel a tingling in the base of your spine. Yeah, he's got it. Now I want to call in the guardians of the Watchtowers of the West. The West, the waters, the sweet waters of emotion, water that is 70% of our body, 70% of our planet. And the emotions, may those sweet waters brush through, again, bringing clear, fresh connection and emotions and understanding. And also with the West as the ancestors, may the mists of the ancestors rise here, of good and light spirits being brought in, spirits connected to those within this space. And last but not least, I want to call in the guardians of the Watchtowers of the North, the beautiful earth, this beautiful planet we call home. Give us the strength of a beautiful tree with roots that can go deep into the ground to hold us strong, and branches high, high into the sky that we can reach and touch the heavens. May we be the billy tree as it flips, as we slowly, slowly lift the veil between the worlds. We call in good and light spirits. We cast out anything negative as we, like a net, lift the veil between the worlds and call in the other side. We are between the worlds. Okay. Hey. There is Okay. Woo, they gathered around. I don't know if you guys can feel in the room.
Yeah, yeah.
They are spinning. They are dancing. They are having the good old time. I mean, I think they are here all the time having a good old time. But now that we like open the door for them, they are great. The little guy over here, his name is Sam or Samuel. He wanted me to know that right away. And I think that he probably hangs out with you a lot. So,
I think you used to see something over in
Yeah,
this corner.
when I wrote down a SC sound with an L, Samuel.
oh my God.
It's,
Wow.
See, we are good. 1 plus 1 equals 17. I love that math. No, I got it, and I got goosebumps on
I've
that again,
been
which
getting
is
goosebumps
confirmation.
ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they are gathering around. So I do want to call, so I can kind of connect and divide. Everybody think about if you have somebody special or a couple special people, I want to call them in behind you right now, that you could feel them come up right behind you. You might feel a little bit of energy or a little pressure. They might even touch you right there. And if right now we could all say it at the same time, everybody kind of just say the name of somebody you would like to bring in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Dorothy. Oh, look at. Okay. Wow, they're all here. Let's start over here because there's a lot. Because you're good at this, at calling in. There was somebody you wanted a specific who?
Yeah. There's
a
my
group.
mom.
Okay.
And then my best friend, either or.
Okay. What is your mom's name?
Mom's name is Patricia Ann.
Patricia Ann. That's
And-
mine. My namesake.
Yeah. And Tim Mann.
Tim Mann. Patricia Ann and Tim Mann. Okay, they're both here. They probably flank you a lot.
Yeah.
He's making a really funny face. Did he have a face that he did really?
He literally walked in here, and then I saw him do the thing he always did, was this.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He's making a little funny face. So he is here. He is here with you. He loves you. He thinks you're the cat's pajamas. He used that term.
Oh.
Cat's pajamas. I don't know what that means. I mean, I do know what that means, but that's cute. He said that, again, he just loves you so much. He says there's something that you want to do that you've put off doing, a really one specific thing. He said, get off your butt and do it. He's like, do you feel him kicking you in the backside on occasion? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he is doing. So so this thing, you know what it is. We don't have to know what it is, but because you got somebody kicking you from the backside now to do that. And your mom, Patricia, wow, what a beautiful spirit. What a beautiful light. Elevate. I see where you got a lot of your magic, whether she dealt with that or not. She was a really highly evolved spirit and energy, and something about her eyes.
Yeah.
Whoa, wow. She's doing something with her hands. I don't.
Yeah, her whole life she worked in a textile mill, and everything was the hands, and she did that all the way up until she passed.
Okay. So
as
that's
if
what
she were still doing it.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. That's great. So
She had
that's what she's.
green cat eyes. Everybody commented on her cat eyes.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you've got an entourage. How nice is
Yay.
that?
Hey, y'all.
Oh, that's good. Again, I do want to invite the spirits that they could do things like make the candles dance. You could literally, make the little EMF meters. We don't have to pay attention to it, or we can. Because it's hard to see, so we don't have to pay that much attention. But spirits know, since we don't have a lot of darkness in the space, you could do other things to show us.
You gonna bring one more down? Just
Yeah. Could you reach up there and turn one more
Okay,
off?
that's good. See, we don't want everybody looking into the dark, but.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
you look
nice.
angelic
Moody.
right now.
Yeah.
you look angelic right now.
Angelic. Okay, so this is really goofy, and I could be a spirit animal, but I think it was somebody's pet. Did somebody in this room have a pet bird?
I didn't.
we had parakeets. Yeah.
Okay.
We had kind of everything, but we
But
did have parakeets.
A little green bird. Yeah, little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because he's been floating around too.
That's
See,
so
because
funny.
you have the gift. You open. So everybody, they might be on the other side of the millennium world, and they go woo. And so a beautiful little bird flying around here.
That's crazy.
And that's just, because not that many people have birds that I know. So Really good. Okay. Did Tony? Did you know somebody who had stomach ailment passed on of tummy stuff? Do you remember?
Well, my grandfather did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting over
years
there.
and years and years.
Yeah, of tummy stuff. So he's with you a lot. He keeps a distance for some reason. I don't know if that was his personality.
He was kind of that person.
Okay.
I mean, he had a very large personality, but emotionally, he always kept.
He kept a distance.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So now that he doesn't have the body, he
Right.
keeps a little bit of a distance, but he is there for you. But he's holding his baby. He's good now. He he
Yeah.
got past that, obviously. So he doesn't have
Yeah,
the
he died
tummy
of
stuff.
lung and pretty much cancer throughout his
Cancer
body.
throughout the body. So
Mhm.
yeah, so and he's not being real verbal, but what he's saying something about he's so proud that you're doing something he could never do as far as letting go of things, that you know how to really let go of things that versus hold them inside. So that's why you're gonna always stay healthy and big a lot. Not that you don't worry. I see that little chatterbrain going around and round and round and round, but you don't hold things inside like this.
Not like the Sweets. My last name's Sweet, so not like the Sweets do.
Oh, they do. So that's what
They have
he's
a
saying,
tendency
that
to
you're
hold
breaking
things
out
in.
of that.
Yeah.
Again, but you spin, you chatter.
Oh yeah.
But you're not doing that
Yeah.
pushing in, because
Right.
maybe your life is out, so it's much more out. So he's really proud of that,
Oh,
of
good.
you.
Yeah.
Is there a specific person you wanted to call?
Well, he was actually
one of them.
was
Okay, so
my
that
grandpa.
he came right in.
Yeah, Grandpa
He
Sweet.
likes to stand behind your left side, if that makes sense to you. I don't know if you ever at Thanksgiving table sat to your left or anything like that.
Well,
But
he
he's
always sat. Actually, he did, because he would sit at the head of the table, and then I would always sit on, I guess, this side. So he was always
okay, so that's
to
why
the
he
left, yeah.
pointed that out. So that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He sits onto that left side. Also, there's, somebody, it's in between you guys. Somebody, legs, knees, like rubbing their legs. You don't remember?
Living or deceased?
Uh,
I'm trying to think. But I didn't know. Like, I didn't know my real grandmother on my mom's side, so I didn't know. Oh, you?
My dad had his leg ripped off.
Oh.
okay, that's what it is. That's
Yeah,
why I said
I
you.
just-
Okay, so wow, so that's what it is.
And
There's
he would have phantom.
Okay, that's what he's
Oh,
showing me.
wow.
Again, it was right between, so I couldn't tell him. So he is there. He said everything's good. He wants you to know that everything's
That's
good.
hysterical.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy good.
Good. Because there might have been something
Child, yes.
unsaid, unfinished. He said, no, everything's good.
Wow.
Yeah. He, besides your friend kicking you to do, he will sometimes, when you feel a little pressure, like the top of your shoulders, you got it.
Did you write it down? What did it say?
Yeah.
Hand on shoulder.
Hand on shoulder. He's the one who does that. I can't read your writing. From
No,
here, but
there's
I'm
no
sure.
way- there's no way you saw
I
this.
can't. No, that's him. That's doing that.
I was
And
literally going to ask you who puts their hand on my
it's
shoulder.
your father. And again, he's just
Wow.
like, it's all good. Everything.
That's probably
Yeah.
one you probably wouldn't think.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask for him. That's for damn sure.
But
Yeah.
no, but he wanted you to know. He's one of those that wise up.
Wow, yeah. I really believe that.
Yeah, he's one of those really. And he's showing me something kind of bluish green. I don't know if he had something or you have something of his. It's kind of square.
Yeah, I have no idea. The last time I saw him, I was 3.5.
Okay.
He was a sadist.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's
Oh, wait.
The things
Just
are
went
ringing.
off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sadist part.
You said sadist and it goes off.
yeah, he was. I mean, he
Wow.
just was. He was just. I mean, monumentally
Wow.
a sadist.
Okay.
But that was, I'm 55. The last time I saw him, I was 4, so he's been passed over now 10, 12 years. And I never saw him again.
Yeah. Yeah. No. so again, this thing is he's trying to do that energy. He almost wants to go into reasons and whys and explanations and whys, but he doesn't have to. But there was reasons, and he's sorry, and it's all good.
And I accept that.
Okay.
I really do. I love him now.
Yeah, and I know,
Look at Eddie,
I know.
You're like,
but it goes back to something. I don't know if you remember anything or ever heard anything. It was so long ago, you probably wouldn't. But something for him changed his life and made it what it was when he was tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny little baby toddler boy. Something just shifted his everything.
Yeah.
Did he die of a heart attack?
I don't know, but it was respiratory. I do know that part in Tennessee.
For some reason, my chest is like hurting, and I'm
yeah,
like,
that's how it goes. See, that's what I get. Okay. Who was the earache? Who was So see, everybody gets it when you open the veil. We all have the gift.
He's very psychic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't overthink it. What people do is, we have our left brain and right brain, our left reasoning, rational thinking, the right intuitive, creative, psychic. That's our magic, our spiritual side. What we tend to do, and what is, you get this beautiful right side intuition, and then you try to judge it with that left. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make, so just don't dance between them. Don't use one for the other.
Well, I'm going to actually, June, I'm going to ask you, because we have June here.
Yeah, hi, June.
He is one of our engineers. I just want to know if June, because he's sitting here in the same room with us. June, does any of this make sense to you? Do you feel anything?
I'm actually very new to all this, and
which is even better.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here and observing, but it's really interesting.
Perfect.
Really interesting.
Well, if you hear, yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, if you feel anything or sense anything, don't be afraid to say it. And I don't know if you're here when it's like you might be the side of your eye, see something go by. Not usually your direct vision. It's that peripheral side.
And sometimes it's flashes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Light or dark flashes.
Yeah. And what's the ringing in the ears?
It's vibration.
Okay.
That's that's why I use the chimes and the things, because it taps into that.
And I want to say for the people that are watching, and I know on Char's show, this is because she films in the same location, that I remember editing one of her videos, and she was getting ready to interview an angel communicator, and I'm editing it, and I actually saw a spirit flash. I mean, they didn't see it in the studio, but I saw it editing the video. So if you see something on the screen, please let us know.
Yeah. Don't be surprised.
Yeah,
or
don't be surprised.
Sometimes we'll be doing this, and then there'll be somebody who breaks through from the spirit realm. I've had that happen on telephones before cell phones were, we had more cell phones than testicles. But yeah, things happen.
Yeah, and things happen, and plus the electronics, they do. That's why cameras often can catch, or that's why with the haunting house, the lights flash on and off, because it's, if you go back to everything's energy, they can move that. Yeah. That's why the TVs turn on and off, or even the little stupid fake ghost meters on a cell phone could be taught to be real. Because it's energy, they could do it. You can get this is just going crazy now. I love it. The one little EMF meter. So again, they could feed off it, not in a bad way. That's why batteries run dead.
I knew you were going to say batteries next.
Every batteries just die. I mean, even I do a lot of TV, even on the big shows. It's like, we've got the best of everything. It's like, we just charge this. It's gone.
Yeah, you have to. I always go with backups. And I always have a pack of batteries. You have to. And then when you're doing even a lecture for 30 minutes and then another 30, I change the batteries out because they go.
Yeah.
So I know in my apartment, I remember one day I turned on the... Tony. I know. If I heard that, I might run a little bit. But I turned my lamp on in my living room. The light bulb burnt out. I thought, okay, whatever. I walk into the kitchen, turn the light on. It burned out. Yeah. I walked into the bathroom, turned the light on. Burnt out. All three, within 10 minutes apart.
Yeah, that was obviously something running through there. And it could have been just the heck of it, or it could be a message, pay attention to something.
Right. Okay.
Did you pay attention to something?
Well, I knew it wasn't just a coincidence.
It wasn't just a coincidence.
Yeah.
What was going on during that? In a sentence or so?
I don't remember actually what was going on at that time, but it's happened fairly consistently.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a woman. She probably died older, but she's showing herself kind of like that 1950s brown hair, the red lips. she probably didn't look like that when she passed, because it's one of those, like, in my experience, spirits often, if they enjoyed growing older and being grandma, they'll show themselves with their gray hair or whatever. And somebody's like, I didn't like getting old. They'll show themselves 1952. This woman is showing herself that. I think she was like almost that perfect 1950s housewife or something. She baked. She did bake. I think she's attached to you. Do you remember somebody with brown?
Well, my grandma Sweet was she died at 90 when she was 93. She baked all the time. She did. She was 60 years old when I was born. So
right. So you don't know her 50s life.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen pictures of her, but she did have the do, and she always always dressed up. Yeah, always. You never saw my grandma that was not dressed up with jewels and whatever. Not like fancy jewels, but costume jewelry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's her that came in because that was so important to her. Not that she didn't like growing older, but she went back to that heyday. This is how you look. But yeah, she's great, actually.
She was great. She was one of those. I mean, she was a tough woman. Definitely a tough woman. She had a big personality too. I mean, you had to be married to my grandpa to yeah. I mean, they would just have big personalities, but she definitely was a tough woman. Not always the nicest, but she was. I mean, she definitely kept good care of herself.
Does either the fruit or the peaches mean something to you attached to her?
She used to can peaches.
Okay, that's what she's showing me. Peaches. Yeah, and she said she wasn't mean.
She was trying to keep some people in line, honey.
But she would have said that too. Yeah. I'm not mean.
While she held her Bible in church, put $1 in the plate, honey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she's doing peaches. That's good. But she's gone back to her glory days.
Yeah. No, I could see that. Yeah. She loved to. She was a beautiful woman. She barely had a wrinkle on her face at 93.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's because she took the soul of little children.
Sucked the essence out.
Hansel and Gretel. I have an autobiography.
Okay, it's getting a little. Do you guys feel almost like a heartbeat in here?
Mm-hmm. Like
a
push
pull.
Push pull. Like the ebb and toad.
That's what the energy's really doing. So. Let's focus the vibration a little bit. I don't know if I should do it with a thing or we should do it with. Let's do it vocally. Don't have to be too loud because I know we're on air, and we'll keep it a little bit short. Just kind of like an om, but it doesn't have to be om. It's just kind of I mean, we're gonna raise the vibe from low to high. It's not a full-on ma chant like I blow everybody's ears out with. But again, I want you to feel that the line's getting a little clearer. Here we. There you go. Feel the clarity?
Yeah.
You guys did that.
Wow. What does that do?
It's vibration. I don't know. It's again, it's tapping into all of ourselves to line that up. It just got way clearer. Okay, since now there's a little more clarity. Is there somebody specific? Any of you want to ask or talk to or call in?
I mean, I actually would. It's either going to be because we've talked about my dad's side, but my mom's side, I never knew my real grandmother. My mom never knew her mother. She left when she was like a year old, but when we looked for her, she found out years later she died when she was 60. So my mom never knew her. So if anything of her would come through, that would be great.
Okay. Do you know her name?
Neva May.
Neva May. Okay. Well, do you want to call in the spirit of Neva May? We invite in the spirit of Neva May. We request the spirit of Neva May. Okay. Standing definitively in the shadows, tipping her head. Again, you have nothing to compare this to knowing what she did, but she's tipping her head. I honestly don't. Yeah, this is both of these are going off
yeah,
now.
they
Those
are
little,
going
she's standing in the shadows again because it's a cross between inability and embarrassment and shame. But the inability, she wants to be. She didn't just leave. She couldn't. There was either something awry in her brain that she just couldn't handle, and she just had to leave. Oh God, her eyes are so big. She's just. It's not verbal communication, but she's there. She's half shadowed. Do you want to ask her something or tell her?
Well, I kind of know a little bit about what happened, even though my grandfather used to tell my mother what happened. But years later, we found that wasn't the truth.
Okay.
Like, he was abusive, and so she did leave for that reason.
Okay.
And this was in like 1940.
Wow.
So, yeah. But we did find we did find my mother's half sister years later after she died. So we did get to know her through her half sister. So, I mean, I don't really know what to ask her because I kind of found out the answers afterwards. But it was more for my mother because my mother always felt like her mother didn't want her.
Yeah, no, that wasn't that. She just couldn't. She just couldn't. You know, the abuse there makes sense because she just and she keeps going like really gentle, like she's pulling.
Yeah, I've heard that about her. Like, she was a very gentle woman.
Yeah, this is just gentleness.
And I actually did see a picture of her, and she was
tilting her head.
Yeah, tilting her head.
That's beautiful. So she is there, and she's again sorry and never meant, and she just couldn't. That's as much as she can get out.
Yeah.
Goosebumps back here. So.
Yeah, and that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to ask her though.
But just know that she's there, and is your mom still here?
She is. She's in a nursing home, and I think she's close to crossing in the next few years, if not sooner. But yeah.
So then maybe they'll actually get to know each other and can explain it.
Yeah, she's been telling me she goes, I keep seeing somebody walk into the room and nobody's there, and I'm like, well, I said, I'm sure there's a lot of spirits there, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially if she's in a place where a lot of people pass over.
Yeah.
And again, especially when some people start way before they go crossing to the other side. I mean, some of us just do it since kidhood, but some people, as they get closer to that.
I
remember when my mom passed, I could tell when she was on the other side and when she was here, and she'd go back and forth.
Yep.
It's really,
and that's way more common than people think.
Yeah.
It's good that you share that.
Yeah,
I guess we don't know that until we're in that position.
And we're in that position, you know. And then we know everything, and then we do it again, and we don't remember anything.
Right, right.
Because this is school. This is all about being in class right now. Okay.
And we have literally about 5 minutes.
Okay, so we should start closing it down.
Yeah.
Then. So everybody just take a deep breath. I want your beautiful, because we want to be able to close it down. I want everybody to call your loved ones behind you. Feel them behind you again. Maybe just touching you. Feel their breath. Feel that love. We actually help them. We help them to attach back to life. They help us to connect to the other side. Nothing dies. Science has proven that. You know, everything dies, it becomes something else. Yeah, nothing dies. So it's not scary. It's not evil. Just give them a big hug. And then we're going to let them step back. We're going to let them step back. And let them step back. And we slowly, slowly, like a beautiful net, want to close the veil back. Feel it coming over us like this beautiful, sweet net or a veil as we come back into this world, as we close the veil. I want to thank the elements and release them. The beautiful air and fire and water and earth and all the beings that came in to open this up. We're back. Now we talk regular.
I know.
Because you have to really, what I would say, and anybody who does this, and what you guys should do after this, everybody should eat something salty, get mundane, tell bad jokes because you really want a difference of this or that. They're still with us. They're always going to be with us. You're going to have that in the corner, but you can't leave the veil open. You've got to grab something iron or metal. Make a definitive difference between that world and this world. There was also a little dog here. I was going to say that, but it got so much. So if somebody, a mid-sized dog.
I had a mid-sized dog. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Named Killer.
Kuma.
Kuma?
Kuma
Kasha
and Killer.
Kuma.
Kasha Kuma Killer. Wow. Well, I don't know which one it was because I started feeling. Did you guys notice anything that feels brushed by your legs at one point?
I didn't feel it brushed by my legs, but I definitely felt the puppy.
Yeah,
I didn't feel the puppy. But,
so it was maybe it was your puppy.
Yeah, I hope I wrote it down, but I probably did.
You didn't.
So well, before we go, I wanna ask for the people that do work with the Ouija, because I'm sure this time of year a lot of people go to the store, pick up a Ouija.
Tarot cards and other things that open the portal.
So can you give them some advice if they're going to do it?
Okay. Yes. If you're going
to protect themselves.
Yes. And if you're doing it, you wake it up, which we didn't do because we didn't use it, and you put it to bed. Good night. Put it to bed. And again, it's like you're opening your door. Be very, very specific of what and who you allow in.
Yeah.
Very specific. That's it. Your intent is everything, whether technique or not technique. And again, it doesn't matter what your belief system is, but know it, because our belief system is our roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we navigate between life, how we navigate between the worlds. It's a roadmap. There's a million different, like a templates you could use on your computer, on your phone, in your life. But know your belief system, even if you're creating for now, okay, this red wall means this means, really it all works. It's your tangible something to do. Again, that's why the elements are so easy to work with, or call in your guides, call in your angels, call in Christ, call in whatever works for you, but set up your guardians.
And there's going to be people that, I know kids, I know when I was a kid, my older brothers and sisters, like I said, they would want to conjure up, that because people want to call in these scary demon spirits or whatever. And if they do, and something does attach, what can they do?
Okay, there's lots of things of getting rid of things as you do, because stuff is here all the time. The best thing for everybody to know is this is our realm of existence. We have the power here. They really do have to play by our rules unless we give them the power. And we always give them the power by fear, by anger, by that, when you see the movies, again, there's so much, they've been possessed. They've allowed that somehow to happen. Either if it's not a severe drug or alcohol problem, or they've just given themselves over the dark side, or a mental imbalance, you've allowed it. And you take your power back, again, in the name of whatever you believe in the name of God, in the name of your angel, in the name of your dog, in the name of your Louboutin shoes. I claim my body, I claim my house, I claim this. So that's the first and most potent thing that you can do. No, you are not welcome here. No, in the name of my humanity, my humanness. Stuff starts going. There's, again, sage is really good, but everyone misuses sage.
How so?
Sage is clearing. It gets rid of everything, but it's really harsh. Well, as I do a lot of house clearings, and people, I sage my house, but afterwards it came back. Sage, it's like, it's harsh, and it almost creates a vacuum. So I sage my house and it feels really good, but it almost creates a vacuum. So it's like you've dusted your whole house, but then left all the doors and windows open in a sand or dust storm. So after you sage, you've got to fill it back up with intent. So at very least, burn then a sweet incense, a frankincense, a myrrh, a sandalwood, anything angelic.
Rose water.
Rose water works too, again, and put in intent. So when you're getting rid of it, I'm getting rid of dark spirits or just angriness or crankiness. And then now I'm bringing in love, prosperity, health. Fill that space back up like a pool. You've emptied the pool, fill it back up.
Yes.
And then there's no room for the stuff. So your saging lasts. And again, because otherwise you're going to pull back the same thing, something different or something worse. And I see it all the time. And then once you go, we filled it back up, there's no room. You filled up your balloon to get back in.
I keep hearing that thing go up.
I know. I know. They're here. Again, we've just closed the veil, but they're just like making themselves known. So again, work with symbols, work with sigils, work with your belief system. My favorite thing, no one can see it, protective symbol is a Norwegian hex cross. It's an 8-sided cross. It's an old Viking thing. I'm sure no one could ever see it. But I don't know. I need a sigil, but it's an 8-sided cross, and it's really powerful because, again, everything is energy. It works the grid lines. The little things on the end of it push the energy out. So if anybody's having trouble or bad dreams, put it between your mattress, put it under your pillow, put it under your welcome mat at your house. I use them in clearings all the time. So there's 101. If it's getting serious stuff, start working with camphor, which smells like Vicks Vapor Rub in your house. Blue balls, which everybody needs blue balls. It's actually old-fashioned bluing, but it's those little. They used to use it in laundry to make your laundry white, but it's really cleansing. So drop one of those in water. You could even bathe in it. Don't too much, or you'll turn into a Smurf. But a little bit of the blue, and clean mirrors, because mirrors are portals. Be conscious of that. You make the signs in or symbols, or working with camphor. There's millions and millions of protective bay leaves. Bay leaves are protective. So there's a million ways, and you can find lots of them on the internet. But just most important is your intent.
And speaking of intent, how do people get in touch with you?
PattiNegri.com. PattiNegri.com. You can find everything there. My Facebook, my Instagram. I don't know my Instagram, but also there's videos, fun little spell workings. My newsletter. Actually, I send out things every month, which is really every 4 months, like how to clear your house, how to do dream school. Sign up for my little newsletter. I don't try to sell anything. But yeah, PattiNegri.com. Come on down. I love your website, by the way. I was just discovering it yesterday. I'm like, look at this. So good to see. Yeah.
We love Smitty.
Yeah.
And we love Miss Patti now.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Patti. All right. Well, we want to thank Patti for being here. We want to thank you guys for joining us. And if you guys are local, or if maybe somebody anywhere in the world wants to get a seance from Patti, they can go to PattiNegri.com. We want to thank you for joining us. Happy Halloween. We want to be safe, and we want to make sure you guys go out and have a great time. I'm Tony Sweet.
I'm Eddie Connor.
And you're listening to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie right here on Universal Broadcasting Network. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, thank you for listening to Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie right here on Universal Broadcasting Network. Make sure you go to our iTunes page. Just type in Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. Listen to us on iHeartRadio. Again, Truth Be Told with Tony and Eddie. And go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and please leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. So please support our sponsors and make sure you listen to us every Friday right here on Universal Broadcasting Network from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, have a good week.